Attention business owners, are you curious what office layout is the best? The answer, in my opinion, is whatever is efficient and makes you the most productive. I know that's kind of a vague answer, but we'll talk through it a little bit. What I really challenge you to do is, if you have office space right now, look at your own office space after watching this video and ask yourself, is this office space the most efficient it can be? And does it make it the most productive that my organization can be? So first, efficiency. What that really comes down to is, do you have a lot of office space or features or amenities in your building that you never use but you're still paying for? Like, for example, I have a client that has this huge, beautiful reception. It's very large, but they've told me that they almost never have clients coming into the office space. So essentially, that reception is just there for the very few clients that come in every once in a while. Now, historically, they've always had a reception, so they're keeping a reception, but I'm challenging them to sort of think about, do you really want to pay for the square footage for that reception? Because you're paying for it every month. Most rents are on a per square foot basis. And so you really want to ask yourself, is that feature worth what I'm paying for it every month? Another example is a huge conference room. I have clients where they have a massive conference room with beautiful glass walls, and it looks amazing, and it projects some prestige, and maybe that's important, maybe that's worthwhile. But you also want to ask yourself, how often do I have that entire conference room filled? Let's say it seats 20 people. How often do I have 20 people sitting at that table? If the answer is almost never, then maybe on your next office space, you should be thinking about a conference room half the size. And maybe that means you have 2 different meetings for different groups, or maybe it just means that when you have really big meetings that you go somewhere else. It's just really a question that you should ask yourself is every square foot I have in my office space being used? Because you're paying for it. So, a lot of times my clients will get caught up on the per square foot rent of saving 5 cents here or there. The reality is, where you really get hit with rent is square footage that you don't need. We can go into this in another video, but when you do the math of what an extra, even 300 square feet costs you over a 5-year lease, it's a lot more money than you think. I challenge you to do the math. We'll do it in another video. But the next question is, the best layout for your business is going to be whatever makes you the most productive. So that really means take a step back and think, do all my employees that need private offices have private offices? Sometimes you'll have people in cubicles and they're constantly walking outside or walking into the conference room to take calls because they have, private information they're talking to clients about. I'm thinking maybe attorneys or financial planners, where you just can't be in a bullpen talking about these things. And so you really need that privacy. So you want to ask yourself, am I having my employees having to walk across in a conference room or walk outside so they can have private conversations? Because that's taking them time every single day. You want to ask yourself, maybe they should have a private office. The flip side of that is, do you have employees in private offices that are kind of walling themselves off from everybody else in the organization when they don't actually have to be? You want to ask yourself, does everyone have a private office really need one? I know some people like them, some people don't. So you might have some pushback if you take private offices away, but you do want to ask yourself, is having a couple of people, in bullpen space nearby going to make them more collaborative, save on emails, sort of help communication? That's something you should think about as far as whether those employees truly need private offices. Another thing that you really have to think about, obviously, is budget. You want something that's efficient. That kind of goes into, step with the budget. You want something that's going to make you productive. And maybe being productive means that everyone has a huge private office and there's, all this extra space and a massive, beautiful break room. Maybe that makes you the most productive. But if that's not what you can afford, then you have to step back to that efficiency standpoint and really figure out, what is the most I can dedicate to my office space and try and stay within the range of that. A mistake that some of my clients will make is that they will guess where their growth is going to be in the next couple of years, and they get office space they don't necessarily need. No one has a crystal ball. We're all trying to figure out how our businesses are going to grow. But my advice to my clients is generally be conservative on the amount of office space you get. It's a huge problem if you have a bunch of office space that you don't need and you're paying for it and you can't pay for. That creates a whole nother issue we can talk about in another video. But if you have office space and you're just growing faster than you expected, but you were conservative up front, there's a lot of different things you can do. For one, you can open up a satellite office on the other side of town or in another market where some of your employees are to cut down on their commute. You can talk to your landlord about potentially getting other space. There's a lot of different things you can do when you need more space. That's, it can be annoying and it's a little bit of a hassle, but that's a better problem to have than biting off a ton of office space up front and just taking a leap of faith that you're going to need it eventually, and then regretting that when you're ending up having to pay rent on way more office space than you need. So my advice to my clients is to be conservative, try and find something that's efficient, and try and get a layout that is, productive for you. And also keep in mind, you're going to look for the perfect office space. You're going to have to compromise on a few things. So, do your best to set out before you go look at, what's your ideal layout, and think about what your ideal budget is, and go out and look with those in mind, but realize that you may not find something that checks every single box. It's good to know what that list of needs are before you go out first. So thank you so much for listening to this video. If you found any value, please hit subscribe. I'm going to be putting out one video a week, and this is just a series to help business owners make informed commercial real estate decisions. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of it. We'll be putting out another video in a week. So thanks again for watching.